What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king. Welcome back to more Let's Play Pokemon Black and White 2. In the last episode, we continued through Relic Passage and caught ourselves our seventh team member, Volcarona, named Johanna. And if you want the entire explanation on that nickname, gave it in the last episode. If you missed it, go back and watch that. It's kind of a complex one and a lesser known one, but still, I think, a very cool one nonetheless. Now, you might notice that as we head into here, wait a second, why are these Pokemon so under-leveled all of a sudden? We didn't experience that in the last area. Well, there's a very good reason for that. It's because this area actually wasn't inaccessible before. We could have gotten here a long time ago. In fact, we were told to not go any further in this area the last time we had access to it because don't bother, there's not really anything of interest in here. There's actually a couple things. But it's mostly just trainers and items, and these trainers, like I said, are not super high level. Now, we're going to battle this guy really quickly, because we still have a few more things left to get. But, like I said, we're not going to be getting too much experience out of these trainers, because we had access to this area a very long time ago. In fact, all the way back around when we challenged the third gym, but I didn't really want to go into this area just yet, because this is kind of an area that you're going to end up naturally going through anyway when exploring the Relic Passage for the first time. At least the rest of the Relic Passage. So, we're just going to take out these trainers really quick, get whatever latent experience they have left, and grabbing the items around here. So, I'm going to see... Okay, there's nothing over here. So, I missed that one ledge opportunity over that way. I think I'm okay with that, though. I don't really care too much. There is a hidden item over there in the corner, which is, I think, an escape rope. Now, I'm not running into any Pokemon here because I am much higher level than all of the ones in this area. But go right here. We're going to battle this scientist really quickly. And she actually just said something that I kind of skipped over really quickly that is actually kind of important to what's going on in this area. But I should say right off the bat that all the Pokemon in here are like Roggenrola, Woobat, Timber, Rattata, Onix. Basically just the unevolved versions of a lot of the Pokemon we could find in the chambers before this. So something worth keeping in mind. But of course, we still need to get into this area to be able to access a lot of the items that were in the middle area that we accessed in the last one. The only thing we couldn't do in the middle chamber, obviously, was surfing in that area. So we did kind of miss it on that. But like I said, all that was there was a big pearl and I guess whatever water Pokemon would be on that water. But I'm not really interested in any of them, so I don't really care. And the big pearl is just for selling a little extra money, I guess. Cool. Anyway, we defeated Scientist Lumina. Over here, we are going to get ourselves one actually useful item, which is the Hard Stone. This is the rock-type equivalent to the Mystic Water, the Miracle Seed, the Soft Sand, you get the picture. And I was really hoping you were going to be a shard. Gosh dang it. But okay, that is pretty much everything in this area. Now we need to get on out of here and see where all of this actually connects to. And the answer is the Castelia Sewers. That's right. This is where Berg basically said, don't bother going in there. There's not really anything of value in there. I don't know why he was so adamant about that, because that's not technically true, like at all. Like there was absolutely things in there we could have grabbed, but I personally didn't bother because I didn't really see a need to. We don't need to worry about that at the time. We could have gotten a couple of trainers and battled them for experience and whatnot, but it doesn't really bother me too much. We are back here in Castelia City, but we are not going to be staying long because that's right, I am going to be flying straight back to Driftvale, and we're going to be moving on from there. So let me go back there, heal my Pokemon, and I'll see you all outside the Pokemon Center in just a second. And with that done, we can now proceed. So we are pretty much done here in Driftvale itself. The only thing I really have left to do, and honestly I probably should do this, is go and buy a bunch of healing items at the vending machine. So I'm actually going to do that really fast. I think I'm just going to get lemonades this time, nothing but. But I think it would be a lot easier if I just kind of skipped until I have all the ones that I need. So give me just a moment. Okay, I am now the proud owner of 20 total lemonades. I think I had like 3 left, but I've got plenty now. I think we're good to move on. All right, let's get the heck on out of here. We got a route to go and explore here almost immediately. And with everybody in tow, I think I'm going to switch Kamina. No, actually, I think I'm going to switch... No, okay, let's go with Kamina. Kamina's probably going to be good for the front just because I need to give her some more experience. Don't worry, though. She's going to get plenty going into one of the next areas, so don't worry about that too much. I'm going to keep the repel on. And as we head out here, We're going to be going right through the grass, and I've got some new Pokemon that we have to go over in this area. Now, a bunch of them are Pokemon I already went over in the last playthrough. Deerling, Shelmet, Carablast, Tranquil, and soon-to-be Basculin, actually, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But the only truly new Pokemon can only be found in rustling grass, and it is incredibly rare, and that is Castform. Castform is a normal-type Pokemon that changes types depending on the weather. Fire during a sunny day, water during a rain dance, and ice during a hailstorm. It can learn all three and also has Weather Ball, which is a move that itself changes types depending on the weather. This Pokemon is cute, and it is neat, but it is also very much just a gimmick. While it has the versatility, it has none of the ability, with very weak base stats even across the board, so that absolutely nothing stands out, and it can't learn much else without entirely robbing it of the main gimmick in the first place. I guess if you're building a specific weather team, this thing can be used to take point, which means you'll have to commit on a specific type, but otherwise it's just not really worth using, and it isn't ever going to be a powerhouse by any means, no matter how much work you put into it. Oh, Castform, why must you be relegated to a gimmick Pokemon? It really makes me sad. I wish you were actually better, but that's okay. All right, we are going to Signal Beam this Minchino because it had the audacity to use Sing on me, and I don't like it. And yeah, Signal Beam is very, very strong, so I will take that. In fact, speaking of Signal Beam, it is going to be getting some use on some of these Grass-type Pokemon in this area, given that you're going to be running into things like Deerling and Fungus out here, so may as well. Some decent damage, and Kamina can actually do some things. I don't have to use my Braviary in this situation, so that's nice. All right, but let's continue. And I don't know why my controller just stopped there for a second. I have the Dowsing Machine out. I probably should, just in case. I like how you turned away, like right as I went in front of you. Very silly there, man. But you're probably going to have a Water-type Pokemon, aren't you? Depends on what type of water type. Castform, never mind. That is not a water type Pokemon. That is a normal type Pokemon through and through until it uses a weather effect, but we will have to see which one it decides to use. I would be shocked if this thing is dumb enough to use Rain Dance in this situation. Can't imagine it would. Ember, nope, it's just going to stick with regular moves. As long as that doesn't burn, I'm happy. I mean, Castform does have, like, because it has really well-rounded stats, its defenses honestly aren't all that bad. It's just that, like, again, nothing about it is exceptional, so it's like, can't really get a lot out of it. But down it goes. Okay, good experience. Almost level 29. Definitely going to need to get as much experience as we can heading into the next area. I probably, honestly, should be working on my Braviary as well. So there's a hidden item over there at the entrance to the shortcut to Twist Mountain, but I obviously can't go that way because that is all blocked off. All right. You are next, schoolgirl, and you're a school kid, excuse me. You're going to throw out Deerling, Mara. Okay, let's do this thing. Queen of the Awoken. I should be able to get, like, well into level 29 here off of this one. I might switch to Challenger for the next Pokemon. I don't know. We'll see. I did get a rare candy in the last area, so that could probably come in handy at some point. But I think I like to save rare candies just to get rid of... Oh, hey, most redundant move of all time. Give up. Absolutely. Do not need that. Anyway, yeah, I generally like to give up on... save rare candies for when I give up on leveling Pokemon to evolve them. So I'm probably just going to use that rare candy on Tomoe as soon as she's about to evolve, for example, as opposed to using it like right now or whatever to get anybody to catch up. It's just a lot easier, I feel like, to use rare candy in those situations. There we go. Very easy, very simple fight. Not bad. We got a hidden item like right here that we can go after, and also an elixir. I will take that. Is the hidden item there? No, it is not. There is rustling grass. Ah, but the fungus! The fungus messed me up. Otherwise, I absolutely would have gone after that because it was probably an Audino, and I definitely should be battling those when I have the opportunity to because it keeps my team on the level. Now, for anyone, I said this before. I caught myself and that's right. It is grass and poison type, so Signal Beam is actually not super effective on this thing, unfortunately. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to switch on over to Challenger in this situation. But anyways, as I was saying, people have questions because I said I caught a Volcarona in the last episode, and I did catch a Volcarona, but the problem is that Volcarona is level 35, already making it tied for the strongest, or I guess one level shy of being the highest level Pokemon on my team. I am not going to be pulling Volcarona out of the PC until I get most of the rest of my team caught up with it, and then we're going to start doing some swapping. And I said before that Zoroark is going to probably be the one I end up swapping out the most, but they are still going to get use from time to time. And everyone's going to be interchangeable. I'm not just going to be swapping out Zoroark for Volcarona and vice versa. They're all going to get time shine. So I think that item is actually up there, so I'm not going to bother with that. For now, let's head on over here, and Charon's going to stop us. Oh, May, can you come with me for a moment? Sure. Guess I don't really have a say in the matter. No one really talks about it, but the record showed that there was a sudden drop in temperature near Lacunosa Town. It was only for a moment, but it went down as low as minus 58 degrees. That's a gigantic drop! Not only that, but similar temperatures were recorded around Castelia City and Driftvale City. On top of that incident with Team Plasma. I think this needs some investigation before things go bad. I hate cold weather, though. I'll give you this. It's a hidden machine that contains surf. With this, please go to different places and check what's going on. Let one of your Pokemon learn surf and you can travel across the water. And there we go. We finally have the ability to go over the water. Thank goodness. Sorry to have slowed you down. Some strange things may be happening. Be careful on your journey. Okay, well, I appreciate it, Charon, because that is extremely nice. Let's take a look at this HM. Base power of 95, accuracy of 100, hits 2 Pokemon in a double battle. Of course we are going to be teaching this to Tomoe. Are you kidding me? Now, I am not going to be getting rid of Water Pulse. I'm going to be getting rid of Fury Cutter. Hear me out. I'm going to get rid of, actually, Razor Shell next. But I just don't have a use for Fury Cutter any longer. It just isn't really doing me any good. So I'm going to get rid of that entirely. When we get our next good move that I want Tomoe to learn, that is when I'm going to get rid of Razor Shell, and we're going to hang on to Water Pulse until I can give her Hydro Cannon, okay? Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. All right, let's talk to the people in here. This is the Season Research Lab. Twist Mountain, just beyond Mistralton, has snow depending on the season. And when we go over here, you can see deerling from all 4 seasons in our lab. When it comes to deerling, we're sort of the experts. We found a rather rare deerling. Would you raise it for us? What do you say? Okay, let's talk about this deerling really quickly. So if I have a free party slot, which I currently do not right now, I would be able to get a deerling that, well, isn't just a deerling. It is also one that has its hidden ability, which is known as Serene Grace. Now, Serene Grace will double the chance of a move having an additional effect. So, for example, if I use any moves that are supposed to lower or raise the stats of something when using it, it is going to double those chances. So there are a few moves that Deerling can learn upon leveling up that have this effect. And I lied. Actually, it has TMs that are capable of doing this. A good example of those is Shadow Ball, which has a 20% chance normally of lowering the target's special defense, but with Serene Grace, it would have a 40% chance of lowering that. There are a couple of other examples as well that can cause these, although there's not much. Unfortunately, its learn set is, I think, entirely devoid of these. I could be wrong. Oh, Energy Ball. Sorry, that has a 10% chance of lowering special defense, but a 20% chance with Serene Grace. Pretty nice. I'm going to say no to this, though, mainly because I don't have the party space. Even if I said yes, he's just going to be like, wait, you can't hold this Pokemon. But if I did want that Deerling, I absolutely would come back and get it. I think I'm good for now, though. Instead, we are just going to continue on through Route 6, gathering items, battling trainers, and using our new Surf HM, which, if you remember how this route works, it is actually going to give us access to a cave that is also in this area. We're going to get to it in due time. But for now, we're just going to keep going, and we honestly don't have a crazy amount of time left in this episode. Just enough time to do a few more battles and go after a few items in this area. So let's take out that Deerling. First things first. Get ourselves some more experience for Kamina. Unfortunately, these Pokemon are not evolved, so we are not getting nearly as much as I would like to be getting, but that is okay. Hello, ma'am. Water absorbent, dry skin. Pokemon with those abilities love water-type moves in rainy weather. The gym leader in Aspertia City is very familiar with Pokemon abilities, isn't he? Oh, do you know him? Then you can ask him about abilities to the Cross Transceiver. Well, thank you. We got a Moonstone here as well. Good for evolving certain Pokemon that we have encountered before, like Skitty into Delcatty, as an example. I can't remember if we've run into the Nidos, but I don't think we have in this game. So that's still pretty nice. And we're going to battle Scientist Marissa, who's going to start off with a Shelmet here. And actually, no, I won't do a Quick Sop here. I'll just do an Echo Voice setup. So let's just start that going, especially because I don't want to be overusing Signal Beam too much. Should be able to get off 2 attacks here before the Shelmet even goes once. So probably not going to be enough to knock it out yet, even with a base power of 80. Super close. It's going to use Curse, but not the Curse that I'm worried about. So we are going to be able to knock this thing out no problem. Because the next turn, it's going to be 120, and then after that, it's going to be 160. Echo Voice is a good move. It's actually a legitimately good move. And really nice to have a Kamina. I honestly might keep it on her for the rest of the game. I don't know yet. The only problem is that it does rely on the battle being drawn out. And because Kamina has pretty poor defenses, maybe it's not the best thing in the world, but that's still pretty strong. Look at that. And the crit for extra measure. I don't know why we really needed that, but I will take it. Never going to complain about a crit. All right, let's continue. So, repel, we're off. Fine. Back to my dowsing machine. There was a hidden item over here. We're going to grab a tiny mushroom. Remember to go back to the lady at the camper next to the Driftvale drawbridge to sell those. Continue on over this way, and we are going to be able to run into Fungus here. So that's going to be kind of annoying, but that's okay. I think I'm just going to run from these Fungus, honestly. I'm not going to even bother battling with them too much. It's because wild Pokemon just don't have that great experience yield, unfortunately. But again, we'll battle you next, and then we also got a Parasol Lady over here. I think what we'll do is we'll just do battle against both of these, and I think maybe then I'll call it an episode, and then we can go through the rest of Route 6 in the next one. But School Kid Alvin, okay, going off of the Fungus again. Don't want to be using any electric-type moves on you. But I think I can use a Bite. The problem is that Fungus, I think, can have Effect Spore. I'll use another one of those really quickly. See if I can get another Flinch. Nope, we got a Mega Drain. Not too worried about the damage that's going to do. I just don't want it to get Ingrain going with that, so we will see. Let's use another Signal Beam here. This should probably be enough to knock it out. Nice. Okay, and what is the next Pokemon? It is Carablast. Okay, I will switch on over to Challenger for this one. And he can just one-shot it with Aerial Ace, no problem. I mean, we've only gotten, what, 3 levels out of Challenger since I've caught him? Yeah, I really have not been using him a ton, and it's already been several episodes since that happened, so we need to be giving him a little bit more time to shine, especially because we're about to head into a cave here relatively soon where Challenger is going to be way out of his depth, so I need to give him more opportunities to battle here. But for now, let's go over here. Okay, one of these is definitely a Fungus. It's you. Okay, so I'm pretty sure the other one's actually an item. I'll just, again, run from this fight. I'm not really going to bother with it too much. Now, if one of them ends up being an Amoonguss, that'll be a little bit of a different story because Amoonguss is actually worth something experience-wise. So, yeah. Anything else here? You are an Ultra Ball. All right, I'll take one of those, given I used a bunch of those against my, to catch my Volcarona. I didn't use a bunch. I used 3. What am I talking about? Wasn't even all that much. I need more net balls is what I need. But, all right. Parasol Lady Tihana? I've never seen anything spelled like that. I've seen Tiana, but Tihana? That's interesting. Okay, whatever. I'm going to use Bite on you to start. See if that does anything. Nope, not really a lot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Signal Beam. I'm getting kind of low on these. And then I think I'll finish this off with a good, yeah, I think I'll finish this off with a good Volt Switch, and then that should be more than enough to knock you out. Thanks to stab damage. Beautiful. All right, and that should push Kamina to level 30. Not bad. Still working on getting her something good here, but now that I've done that, I am pretty comfortable with swapping Challenger into the front slot. So let's do that. Okay. So let's head on up this way and let's get that dowsing machine active once again. As you go, what the heck? Cabra? Wow. Okay. That Pokemon. It's the legendary Pokemon called Cobalion. I told you the story the other day, right? Oh, Cobalion, what a noble presence. They say the 3 Pokemon, Cobalion, Virizion, and Terrakion, fought against people to protect Pokemon from the war those people started. When people fight, there's no peace for Pokemon either. The 3 legends learn that the deeds of humans could lead to dire consequences for their world. But why did it show up in front of people? Is it patrolling the Unova region to protect Pokemon because it fears for their safety of the commotion caused by Team Plasma 2 years ago? Or does it sense a new problem? Unforgivable. So the reach of Ghetsis' ambition and malice is growing even wider, ever wider, and warping the lives of all it touches. Did Cobalion appear in front of you merely by accident or to plead with you to solve a problem? Unlike Lord N, I don't have the ability to understand the minds of Pokemon. Therefore, I don't know what that Pokemon is thinking. But if you can befriend Cobalion, it will be a great asset to you on your journey. Well, hopefully we can track the thing down. That would be, I would say, honestly, for the best. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Pokemon Black and White 2. Thank you all so very much for watching. We are not quite done here yet on Route 6. I will admit right now I'm kind of looking for some rustling grass, which is why I'm running around in a circle. There it is. Not quite done here on Route 6, as we've still got a few things left to do. Gosh dang it, that was not what I wanted. We do have a cave to actually go and check out here relatively soon, but we are going to worry about that in the next episode because that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.